right after the war, we all worked for the U.S. Engineer Department. There were many jobs. Some people worked at Red Hill building huge concrete tanks, underground tanks to store oil for Pearl Harbor. I worked for a reinforcing steel company, and we built great big ammunition magazines at Westlock and at Lua Lua Lei. And we went there every day and built this great big concrete magazines, actually great big bunkers with a railroad coming in to the entrance and depositing torpedoes, anti-aircraft bombs, and artillery shells. So after about a little over a year, there was a morale committee in Honolulu led by Mr. Hang Ching, president of University of Hawaii, Mr. Hemingway, president of McKinley High School, Mr. Carey, and Mr. Sinclair, and very prominent people who supported the Japanese Americans, because in Hawaii the Haoles knew the disciplined attitude of Japanese children who were at the University of Hawaii. So the morale committee went ahead and wrote to General Emmons, who was the military governor of Hawaii, and through him to President Roosevelt to use the Japanese American boys in a more effective way than just digging ditches and placing barbed wire fences around the island. And as you know, the same week that the Pearl Harbor attack occurred, the University of Hawaii students who were in the ROTC were summarily discharged because they were Japanese American. And the boys refused to be discharged and doing nothing, so they formed what they call the VVV, Varsity Victory Volunteers. And they went around digging ditches and whatnot. So Mr. Hang Ching, who was the counselor at the Atherton boarding house, knew all of these boys, and he was instrumental in trying to utilize these boys in a more effective way. As a result, President Roosevelt finally agreed and said that we should form a special unit called the 442nd Regimental Combat Team. And that's when there was a call for volunteers, and I was asked to attend the gathering at Aeia gym by Captain Burns, who later became Governor Burns of Hawaii. And as we gathered at the floor of the gym, Captain Burns was on the platform and pointing to us, "You are on the spot. You must volunteer to prove your loyalty." He said that over and over. And as I listened, I didn't take kindly to this kind of talk, you know. I felt that I was a true American, and I didn't need to prove my loyalty. So I made an analogy like if a fowl walks like a duck, swims like a duck, quacks like a duck, I said, it must be a duck. So I, as an American-born citizen, went to American school, educated as an American, and I hope I spoke like an American. So I said, I must be an American. And as an American, I felt that loyalty was a given. But as 10,000 young boys from the islands volunteered to serve, I thought, well, rather than prove my loyalty, I'll show my patriotism, because the country needs us. That's why they're asking for volunteers. So I volunteered. I was one of the first to be taken into the 442nd Regimental Combat Team. And we were sent to Schofield Barracks, where they outfitted us with all our khaki uniforms. The sleeves were too long, the pants were too long, shoes didn't fit us, socks had to be folded over because they were too big. So my cousin, who lived in Wahiawa, told me to bring all my clothes to her home. And she shortened my sleeves, shortened my trousers, and she fixed everything up. And within 2 weeks, we were headed for the mainland.